Hi again, art historians. We are now in Unit 2 of Module 5, The Art of Africa, and we are taking a look at the African continent 2504, Central Africa this time. So, just to recap, I am a crocodile. Happy Halloween! So far my cookies are still intact. If you saw my last video, Dolly was trying to get them as I'm recording this. She's an adorable cat, but she is hungry, and she's never been fed if you ask her. So, I do feed her, don't worry, twice a day, every day. And snacks, lots of snacks. She's obsessed with cheese and goldfish. And anyway, maybe I'll make note to chug my coffee a little less quickly next time I record these videos. I feel like I'm talking at super speed right now. So for Central Africa, we are taking a look at 6 core works and 6 supplemental works. And our date range in these is from 1750 to around the 20th century. And the nations within Central Africa include Cameroon, the Central African Republic, the Chad, the Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, Republic of the Congo, as well as the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So the smaller scale works that we're looking at is only our core works. Everything's on the tinier side. We've got our Ndap, one of my favorite. A little fun thing I always like to tell my AP art history students in high school is to try to remember King Mishi Misheng Mambo. It is a fun name to say, and if you repeat it enough times, it weirdly sticks in your brain. King Mishi Mishe Mambo, so enjoy that. We've also got our Aka elephant mask, which I like to call nightmare fuel. We've got our Pwao female mask, which is an awesome example of a matriarchal society, something that we don't get to see very often, so enjoy reading about that. We have our Nikisi and Kandi, which is also called the power figure. I included a couple photos in my Carpino corner where you can see that I got to see an actual power figure in person at the Met years and years ago. I want to say like 8 or so years ago, but I do still have my pictures, so I had to include those. We also have our reliquary guardian figure, or the Bieri, as well as the Kota reliquary figure. Now, your supplemental works include a ceremonial palm wine vessel. We have the Panu Lumbo mask, the female figure from the reliquary ensemble, the pageantry in the palace, the prestige stool, and the Lukasa memory board. So let's talk a little bit about Central Africa. It is home to, just like West Africa, many ethnic groups. And this is including the Bantu-speaking peoples, the Tutsi, the Hutu, and others. And each of these areas and groups of people have completely different languages, traditions, as well as social structures. So there is a lot of storytelling as a tradition that comes up quite often, as well as oral history that plays a very crucial role in the preservation of cultural identity and history, and this is often conveyed through proverbs, songs, and folk tales. So the indigenous regions are often animistic, coexisting with Christianity, and introduced by missionaries in the 19th century. And this led to the syncretism of beliefs and practices, which is kind of an interesting transition for this area of the world, resulting in a lot of changes for these people. So you're probably going to see and experience a lot of that within the artwork that you study. In terms of materials, we are looking at wood carving, pottery, and textile weaving that are very significant, with very specific styles and motifs included that reflect cultural identities as well as their functions. So masks are also used in rituals and ceremonies, and hold on one second. Dolly, make good choices. Thought so. Where was I? Masks in performances, they represent ancestors or spirits, and this showcases very intricate designs as well as symbolic meaning. These are integral to cultural expression, and with drums, string instruments, and dances accompanying these celebrations, these rites of passages, and these communal gatherings. And so in the late 19th century, we are seeing the mark of the rise of colonial powers, notably Belgium in the Congo, which very significantly impacted the local art and culture through the exploitation and cultural imposition. The encounter with European styles led to the emergence of very hybrid artistic expressions, art movements, and the responding to colonialism, with artists who use their work to address social issues, and they are definitely wanting to voice their opinion about these matters, and they are doing so through their artwork, which is fabulous, at least in this way, because now we can actually study the evidence of these changes happening in this area of the world through the art that is left. And so now, following the independence in the mid-20th century, Oh, so sorry. Well, the 20th century saw a rise in art movements responding to colonialism, and now following this independence that happened, many artists are exploring themes of identity and nationalism as well as historical memory because their culture did get severely interrupted. And so they're sort of returning back to kind of continue that exploration within their own cultural identity, as I mentioned. And so this leads to a very vibrant contemporary art scene. Central African artists have gained international attention. They participate in global exhibitions and they influence a lot of contemporary art dialogues, which is absolutely wonderful. So the things that you're going to be looking at, the Ndop is one of my favorites. The Aka elephant mask is a little scary, but kind of interesting. Dolly, I'm busy. Dolly, get down, please. Goodness gracious. We also have our female plow mask, as I mentioned. One of my other favorites from our supplemental area is the Lucasa memory board, which is just so interesting, the way that stories and narratives are passed on. So I encourage you to take a look at that as well. Apologies again for the interruptions by my absolutely wonderfully frustrating, fuzzy little roommate over here. And I will see you again when we get to Module 6. So until then, bye, art historians.